Don't you worry about it.
There we go. So, hello everyone. This is going to be part 2 of episode 9, War in a Time of Peace. People did a quick break because I had a slight tech issue, so bear with us for a bit. Next, what I'll probably have to do is put this as like a two-parter, like have it because the stream just went completely down, so the video doesn't join up properly. So I'll have to put it as part 1, part 2 of the same episode, which is annoying, but oh well. I'm not even sure what caused that. It just happened.
Hasna fires and hits a Klingon and disintegrates him.
Oh wow, she's not fucking around.
She didn't even have a focus.
Oh my god.
And only has an 8 and a 3, right?
Proud of her.
So they're not going to keep. So it will be the Klingons, unless you spend to keep. Actually, sorry, you don't have the resources.
Well, we
she only got enough.
We could do it for free because the captain's around.
Am I around enough for that?
You're in the scene.
Really You're in the scene, yeah. So yes.
Okay. Then
you are split off so that you can't interact with them and they can't interact with you, but I'm not going to go through the trouble of making these two different scenes.
Okay. So yeah, decisive leadership we can keep once per round if we want to here. I presume you want to.
We probably want to drop the Klingons before they start hurting, like threatening hostages and stuff.
They have turned to face you. They're not. They are actual warriors. They're not.
They wouldn't do anything nefarious like take hostages or foment a revolution illegally or cause a war. I should trust them and believe they're honorable people.
They will do underhanded things, but they're not about to kill prisoners and get shot in the back. They'd rather kill you and then kill the prisoners.
But they might take cover behind them is my worry.
Yeah, it seems like a reasonable worry.
Could do that. Yeah, I was just saying that they have turned around and are looking like they're going to attack you. They don't look like they're looking to attack the prisoners.
The question I have, I don't know if this will be a roll or something like that, but is it safe to be firing stuff that uses up oxygen since we're sealed up in this chamber by the rock slides?
You doubt that is that
because I don't know if there's any dangerous gases in here. That's my worry.
No, that was something mentioned last episode. Is they have a shielding system that maintains a separation so that there's a breathable environment in most of the mines, unless it's like an actively worked vein, which this is not.
Okay, good.
So yeah, you don't think you're likely to encounter breathing difficulties.
Oh, I'm thinking moving here. If this is a zone move or not. It's basically trying to use this as cover.
Yeah, we would call this being like maybe a 2-zone room, like kind of divided.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay,
something like that.
So I could be anywhere in this side of the board.
Okay. Yeah.
Alright, so on that, so I will charge for area. Are they wearing armor or no? The baddies.
No. They in fact, I correct myself. You don't know they're Klingons. She seems to they look like workers. She didn't say they were Klingons. She said you murderers and shot one of them. Pt.II has a lot of expertise that has informed him that they are modified to look like humans, but they're Klingons. You don't have that, so I should clarify that real quick.
Yeah.
Because
Hmm.
there are people who are acting with knowledge that they're Klingons. You don't have that knowledge, but it might only be a free task to figure that out if you think about it.
I mean, if I can think about it, I'll try, because it changes whether I'm holding or
Oh,
not.
not think. I mean, like, if you suggest how to me, how if one of y'all suggests like how you get this information to Artana, I'm inclined to accept it as.
The only bet I was gonna get was if Aratana has seen. I don't know how common it is for Klingons to pull that stunt, so it may have been a thing I may have seen criminal Klingons do. But I think a criminal Klingon wouldn't go through the. That's more of like an intelligence thing, not a I'm a crook or a pirate.
You know someone who's done it, but you're not a medically trained person, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think you looked deeply into it. The only thing I would suggest is if the doctor like shouts it out or something, that might draw attention to him, but he could do that.
Could Griffin be familiar with how they're moving as a unit from her time in the war?
You haven't seen them enough to do that yet.
Okay.
If you kind of held off for a round, I might go for that.
Yeah, my thing is then to flick my rifle to area and point it at them and say, "Drop your weapons, or I'll stun you, or I'll shoot you where you stand."
I'll take a momentum for obtain information to get the result of that without waiting.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Normally, if you were in a law enforcement or a normal security situation, you would be a lot more generous with time. But this is a tense situation, and you see telltale signs that as soon as you say that, one of them starts like pivoting towards you and manipulating a disruptor. So
do I need to lose
if you
momentum
were
for that? Because
trying
that's
to
just the same.
justify,
Would I need to lose momentum for that though? Because literally I'm waiting to see if they do something hostile. He does something hostile in his turn, he gets shot.
no, okay. So what I was saying was I was offering that only to you as someone who could notice what they intend to do by their movements because you've been trained so much. I wouldn't offer that. Like, if Solaris asked that, I would make them wait till their turn, right?
Right.
To actually see what they do. You're trained enough that I was going to offer you a chance to.
I'm not sure what the benefit of doing this is though, because if I'm set for
you
area
still have
anyway,
your action. You can react to that information now.
Sorry, say again.
Because you still have your action, so you can react to this information.
But if
you had to wait for their turn to come by,
then when their turn comes up and my prepare goes off, I shoot them.
Oh, if you are prepared, I thought, okay, you could prepare. I offered that as a way that you didn't need to wait to see what they do. Because they're telegraphing what they're doing through their movements.
Okay.
They're already being hostile.
Yeah, they're already being hostile, and you're good enough as a security officer to pick up on that.
Okay, I'll just shoot them. I feel like I'm being tricked out of a momentum, but I'll just shoot them.
You can wait if you want to. I was giving you that so you did not have to wait till next round. If you want to wait, you can wait and use a prepared action.
I'm just gonna shoot them. I feel like if I don't, something bad's gonna happen. So, dang.
Yeah, you may be overcomplicating.
Well, there was an extra step added in that I think was unnecessary. But I believe, do they have cover, or is it just Diff 2?
No, there's ample cover in this room.
So it's opposed.
I
assume they don't want to take the Diff 2.
I should double check that because I should double check if you have to. If it's just there is cover in the room, so it's opposed, or is it you sought cover and it's in the room? Do you have to Do you have to say I go for cover before?
A zone will provide cover for any creature in the zone. As long as there's cover in the zone they can benefit from.
Okay.
There's no take cover action anymore. There may not have been one before. It may have been something I screwed up in the past. I'm realizing.
There was dive for cover in the player's book.
Yeah. That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, so go ahead.
They're defending. I have to see what they're doing. I don't know what my difficulty is.
That is correct.
I think.
Yeah. Control security. I will spend a momentum. Threat, that is.
Oh no, they're good guys. Oh no.
It's 2 with a complication.
Okay, I will. Okay, I'm not going to do a determination spend on that lower roll. I am going to not do that. I am going to. Wait, no, I need momentum to hit more than one person. Don't I? Because area works differently in this system. In this
And
edition.
that was deadly.
Huh?
That was deadly.
Oh, they were shooting
Also,
deadly
she
at me.
made a deadly shot further.
Because she
Well,
was
we said last time we did this. Oh, sorry, she was a friendly, so that added. You're right.
Yeah. That's why I was like, oh no.
That if you
Okay.
you make an opposed roll and you have a deadly weapon, because you have the opportunity to counterattack, you go ahead and spend. Because we don't get to know until after you succeed whether you're going to spend that. So
Yeah.
Also, area can succeed at cost if you don't have momentum.
Oh, that's true.
I don't on an opposed even on an opposed.
I don't know. I'm just.
That's just the effective area.
Oh, okay.
But that succeed at
So I
cost as you
guess-
hit friendlies, I imagine would be the freebie. It's like, I mean, sure, you succeed and you shoot a friend. Jerk. That said, though, I do need to give you some threat because I need more momentum. I am going to give you 3 threat. And I will spend for extra effort, so I'm going to suffer 2 stress to bring the diff down by 1. Ow. Focus and hand phasers. 2 dice, not 1. I'm using control security, not presence security. Bang.
Wow. 4 momentum gained.
5 because I had extra effort.
5 momentum gained. And
spend 1.
Does area allow you to hit multiple targets, or just?
It lets you hit multiple targets, but you have to have momentum to spend for each additional target.
Okay.
So I have to spend 3 to hit
the
the
complication will be that this guy was starting to move over here, and so he was easy to hit with the same wide beam, so you won't have to spend for that.
Cool.
And what's the intensity?
For rifle, I closed my sheet. That was not helpful to you.
5.
It's a 5. Thank you very much.
All right, they both go down.
Well, I spent for all of them.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't hear that yet.
Yeah, I spent 2 momentum over here. Sorry. Thought you saw it.
Oh no, I don't have the screen over there.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
Then a wide beam takes everyone out, as they may have the sturdy
Go off.
resistance of Klingon biology, but they're not wearing any body armor because they were infiltrating. Hessa starts checking and seeing that people are dead, and comes over here and
Stab, stabby, stab, stab, stab.
kind of yells in the doctor's direction. What did they do? Why did they do this?
Oh no! Oh wait, no, I'm not gagged. Right?
Yeah.
They didn't, I forgot. I'm the one that they weren't able to gag. They're Klingons.
Since these were supposed to be Federation people.
They have the ability to disguise themselves as other species through surgery.
They've done so before, and while unable to medically scan them myself, given what I've observed, it is a reasonable diagnosis. If you would, because even though he's not gagged or anything, he is still very much still tied up.
Yeah. Shishiran's gonna start. We'll start by untying the doctor and then work her way down the line.
Could someone check to see if we can move those rocks out of the way and get ourselves out of here, or get the Commodore in here? Either way, I shout back.
Yeah, my turn was going to be spent trying to blast rock with my phaser.
We will actually go over to you
Okay.
as
Poor Klingon.
you hear footsteps coming down the path behind you.
Uh-oh.
Ah, Jesus.
And you see a human in Klingon uniform.
I'm able to
You
recognize who this is, right?
do.
Mm-hmm.
This is Shiva, who used to be disguised as the Starfleet commander, Sonia Beck. And she will say, "That's unfortunate. I hoped you would all be on the other side."
Shoot her! Just shoot her!
Yeah. So Laura says, at this point, I believe we are beyond talking, and will aim her phaser and fire.
God damn it, guys!
Amazing.
God, guys.
Aratana approves.
That is an option.
Aratana
Soloris
100% approves.
believes at this point, Soloris is terrible security, but she absolutely believes at this point that she and the crew are being trapped here by the Klingons to be murdered. Because as far as I know, this is the only entrance and exit here, and so she does not care what stupid villain speech this lady's about to give. She just wants to save the people she can save.
No
That's
one
a
ever
real
wants the villain
COS captain
speech
right
until
there.
they're about to die, and then it's give me the villain speech so I can live. All
What
right.
Tuesday group do you think you're with?
I will take back any villain speech and instead offer death.
Oh no.
Okay.
I liked this character. I'm gonna miss her.
Oh, I'm not gonna kill her.
No,
probably.
you.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
it's not
well,
like she almost murked.
I built specifically to fight her, and I'm on the wrong side of the damn rock.
Yeah, I was like, you were running ahead, and I was like, oh, well, that's an option.
I thought she was
You
good.
know, all right.
I mean, I believe in you, Captain. You can do
You're
it.
probably still going to get to face off against her. It's just
Yeah,
Oof.
after
you
the
know.
captain has died, like the opening scene of a slasher where we have to see the friend die in order to build the tension for the final fight. Okay,
So
yeah.
I mean, technically, the captain did shoot first, or started it, I should
yeah,
say.
as um
Usually not the case, but
I was thinking, yeah, there's you get to go first. I had a half thought of, could you spend determination to get no hesitation, but you couldn't do that if the default assumption is that it's that it is Soloris first.
Hmm.
You can't interrupt someone else with a determination spin, I don't think so. So yeah, you go first.
oh,
All
that's
right.
what you're
So
thinking.
one,
Yeah.
so one minor to aim, and I want to spend momentum for another minor to get charged.
I think a minor to draw, so I would need an extra momentum because
All right, that's fine.
But yeah, you can totally. I think you can totally tap 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 for extra minors.
Hmm.
you only need one, yeah.
Well, it's draw, charge for aim, and charge for.
Oh, you get A minors. So, oh, was there a second? I
Yeah,
thought there
that's
was
what I
Yeah.
was
neutral
saying.
and
Was aim
charge.
and then charge.
Oh, sorry,
Um,
aim and charge. Yeah, okay.
is she
So
wearing
yeah,
armor?
armor and a rifle.
All right, then I will
No,
charge.
you have armor and a rifle. I'm sorry. I thought you were asking, does she, as in Soloris? You're asking
No.
if she does.
Yes, so I know what to
Uh,
charge for.
yes, she is wearing Klingon armor. She is changed out of her worker's disguise.
Yeah, so Soloris, drops down onto one knee, assumes standard firing position. So she's aiming, she's going to charge for piercing, and then she's going to fire. So yeah, that was 2 momentum off the bat. Okay. Control security. I have a security of 2. I don't have a focus. Why would you have a focus in something stupid like shooting phasers? GM.
Well,
Draw.
the good news
Aim,
is
charge.
you're in a small uh, corridor. You don't have to worry about cover. It's not opposed.
Yeah.
The bad news is that that's going to stay true. Go ahead. What was the question?
I'm looking at, we're gonna need to start doing momentum chains here. So I'm looking at, um,
A suggestion to you, Solaris.
yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
might armor is an issue, but you might want to charge for intense because she'll probably spend to soak the hit because she's not a goon. A goon will just drop, but a proper character might be able to stand. But that means you have to generate a ton of momentum and hope you can drop her before she hits you back.
Sure, I will charge for intense on the wise device of my former security chief. GM. In the episode The Last Life of Demox the Lethal, I spent the value leads from the front to attempt to intimidate Demox the Lethal. Could I call back to that, considering I'm currently staring down a very deadly Klingon in this scenario again?
I would take that because that's probably whether Soloris is right or wrong in not trying to parlay here. You could definitely say her decision is informed by encountering Demox the Lethal, who was not someone you were ever going to
Parlay with.
parlay with, but you did try at that time. So,
Mhm.
so on that grounds, yes.
I've learned my lesson, and I
I
would
don't know if
like
it was
to.
the right lesson, but you definitely learned it. Yes.
People learn the wrong lesson all of the time.
Sorry,
Um,
I as a GM, I'm compelled to foreshadow a lot here. So if anything bad happens, I'm contractually covered.
Loris has been the main character of many episodes. She's done many things. I am fine if this is her last fight. Control, security. I would like to spend determination on leads from the front on the grounds that I am a flag officer Starfleet about to be engaged in a firefight.
On that, in that case, no, because that's not an option. That's not a decision or an option you're making.
Okay.
There's no one here for you to lead.
Okay.
And
But
you were
I charged
trying
into
to
this
be in
thing.
the back. Being in the back is what got you here.
Okay, but I did charge into this fight when I could have delegated that to the other two
Yeah,
and
if
stayed
you had
behind.
if you had something that talked about you being impetuous or brazen, I would
Mhm.
be inclined to that. The
Okay.
leading from the front thing, my only issue is you're not leading in one. There's no one here you're trying to inspire or like urge forward. It's this fight is just you.
Okay, well then could I instead go for logic as the beginning of wisdom, not what's the fourth directive?
I was gonna say, I was actually just about to say, is there a good directive for this?
Impound and
Mhm.
arrest any individuals that have violated the Treaty of Moth. How did she
Oh
get
yeah,
here
they've
legally?
definitely done that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you could, as long as you don't set the phaser for lethal. If you set it for lethal, then you're
She
not.
wasn't
Then
going to.
that's a sign you're not intending to arrest them.
Yeah, she wasn't doing that. And I still get the call back, right? Or no?
Yes.
Okay. So then, yeah, all right, I will
Oh, wait,
spend.
sorry. No. For the callback, you had to use leads from the front.
Okay, so no. Okay, that's what I thought.
No, sorry. I would. Yeah. The callback makes sense. It's this particular value that I don't think
Mhm.
Applies.
applies.
Hmm.
Okay. Well then I'm just gonna burn the one determination I have and I'll figure it out later. Yeah,
You
all
could
right.
challenge a value here, and it'll get you a determination that you could use for later, or a
I'm not
directive, that is.
I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I'll just
Well, so
challenge.
that's the problem.
Mhm.
If
You have to worry about it right now.
you
You're
have
right.
to worry, because if you
Um,
wait, it won't be usable at the time you need it. If
um,
this is a challenging situation that's pushing you in a difficult direction, you should highlight that now. So is there a directive or a value that's holding you back in this situation?
I'm trying to figure that out. Could I argue for a challenge against Directive 2? On the grounds that like getting into a fight is probably completely derailing plans to get a virus to get the cure done because I could be negotiating.
I would take 1 because you're not sure you don't know what her plans were. They may have been to kill you, which would have violated the whole agreement with the company and
Mhm.
the Klingons, right? But you don't know that. You're assuming that, so you
Mhm.
are making an active decision to give up on negotiating for the thalassite, right?
I'll take it.
You're being the one who pulls the trigger and throws that agreement out the window.
Mhm.
So I would take that challenge.
All right, and I'll spend 1 determination and 2 threat. So I'm rolling 3 and then getting 2. Or sorry, 1 momentum and 2 threat. Excuse me.
Okay.
I am spending determination and 1 momentum. I've challenged a value. I'm spending on a value, and I'm rolling. So that's 3 plus 2 is 5.
You get 3 back.
And you can 1-for-1 add extra damage, which some of that's probably gonna be, some of your rifle's gonna be soaked anyway.
Yeah, did you spend it all on extra damage, man?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hello. There we go.
Eat it, Jam.
What was that? 5 plus 3, so 8.
Oh, and I apologize. You did ask, and I did say she had armor, but I should spend for stuff because I kind of got interrupted introducing her. So
That's okay. I did kind of derail your plans, but the second she showed up and Slorus was alone, I was like, I'm making an executive decision.
Yeah.
I'm just upgrading her for.
Retroactively deciding she has 15 combat talents.
Can't do that with threat.
In addition
Unfortunately, I
to
don't
the
need to
ones she already had.
I don't need to retroactively give her anything.
No, I know.
Yeah, no, I don't know if Artana passed any information on, but Artana's aware that, that she's become a Dahar master. In the year or two since you last saw her.
Oh, I didn't know she was
She's
the
got a
Dahar
medal
Master.
to
I just knew
spend.
there was one.
She's got a
Okay,
medal
yeah,
to
yeah.
spend.
She never said.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's super unfortunate.
Actually, so I did try to like
Imply that.
imply that, but I don't think I ever said her name straight up because it was the Jodator who was saying it, and that was the other like named character.
You could have been
But
hidden. I don't know.
No, you're right. I never explicitly called it out.
That's very unfortunate that she is the Dahar Master. Like, oh, this fight got way harder than it already was. On the plus side, Captain, my precaution still helps you.
So sorry, I've spent what I needed to spend. So you gained 3 momentum.
It was spent
And
it was spent into extra damage to pull it to 8.
Okay. Is that the final result of that task?
Unless you can
I believe
generate more
so.
momentum, that I don't know if there's anything else you can do.
Wait. Let me check medals.
Oh, if you have something like Medal of Honor or something, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Oh my god. On successful tasks, 2 more bonus momentum, 2 more damage. Eat it.
So 10. Minus armor, sadly.
Yeah, as I'm picturing just like the, the sheer blackness of the cave is briefly illuminated by the sheer blast of a bright red phaser that hits directly in the center of her mass.
And you like hold it down so it like keeps streaking across the armor. Like you're trying to shoot her as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, please go down. Then the audience gasps as she probably doesn't go down. I think her armor probably saved her. Although the GM might not spend that much threat to save her.
Spend for extra minors. Can you charge for intense and piercing, or do you only get the one?
You can only charge once, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, you add one of the qualities. Yeah. So if you change it, it would just be something else. It would just change the charge. I charge for piercing, then I charge for the other thing. Damn.
Shit.
Oh.
Oh god. Does she have the kill Soloris now talent?
It's a very specific talent. I'm not sure why they have that in the book, but
No. She doesn't.
Okay,
I accidentally pulled up the Jodator's. She does have no hesitation. So I was like, I should have used that, but then I realized that's the wrong sheet.
Oh, good. Okay.
No, Shiva has the talents Guile, Cunning, and Ambush Tactics. She kind of gave up some of her powerful talents to try talking. But
yeah, you think diplomacy
okay.
would work on Starfleet, but wrong ship, I guess.
Vulcan, hello.
Yeah.
Any other circumstance with an armed woman in a cave pointing to,
It is
approaching me when
perfectly
I'm
logical.
alone.
It is perfectly logical. I agree with you.
All these women in these dark caves just coming out and saying things.
Strange women in dark caves is no method of distributing governance.
I think that's an awesome way of making government, actually.
Certainly can't be worse than what we have now.
Well, isn't that what happened? Isn't that how we ended up with like Rome and Delphi, the Oracle of Delphi or whatever? Well, she wasn't in a cave. That's not fair.
No, she was in a cave, wasn't she?
Oh,
He was like over a fissure and she was inhaling
Yeah.
sulfur gas or something.
I think everybody was inhaling sulfur gas in there. So
we
Hey,
all see
you could-
God.
I was about to say,
Oh, Happy, it's a very nice mountain.
you could just go downtown many areas and do that today.
it's
Yikes.
true.
True.
That explains so much.
Okay.
Geopolitics has
So
bad guys.
10 damage was the
Mhm.
result.
Zap.
Zort.
the effects budget gets spent entirely on this one shot, as it takes like a full 10 seconds, 30 seconds for the beam to streak across her.
And she's still standing afterwards.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's very possible.
No, no, she's almost certainly gonna still be up. I keep thinking to check something and then checking different things because I keep talking and making jokes. Okay, I was double checking Bracklow and yeah, because this is not lethal.
Yeah, gives her an extra armor. Extra armor?
Oh, sorry, I thought Bracklow had a thing against it only being useful for non-lethal attacks, but that's not the case. I think I'm thinking of a firsty thing. No, it just stacks with any armor worn, and it's not any particular type of damage.
Really? Oh, that's
So-
scary.
Wow.
So
better than
that's
first aid.
3 resistance, which means only 7 damage is done.
Still, that's still a good hit.
And I will spend all of that from her personal pool of threat.
She has 7 threat personally?
She's more than that because she has 3 values.
Hey, at least you made her spend almost all of it.
Yeah, she, not a minor character, someone who's been introduced in at least 3 or 4 episodes.
Mm-hmm. No, it's reasonable. It just
hurts.
Man. Just woof.
Of all the Klingons you decided to shoot,
Um,
that's the guy who's
so-
yelling, "Shoot her!" Don't you kill my special friend. Here, we'll have to go on a revenge.
I think you
thing.
have spent all of your momentum, so a swift task is not possible.
Sadly correct.
Yep. We're out of momentum.
So the beam hits her in the torso, and you can see a melted plate and exposed flesh, and she almost doubles over, or she kind of half doubles over for a second and then straightens back up and says, damn, that hurts. She goes, God.
Oh no.
She says,
Slores checks the settings on the phaser in surprise that she wasn't even knocked over by the hit.
Come on, max stun, holy heck.
Detour, not Detour, but Shiva then says, I guess if this is the way it has to go, and then she is going to draw from her belt a handle, and as if pouring out from the handle, a liquid metal takes the form of a batlith.
Oh God!
What?
She's got a T-1000 batlith. I hope you guys like eating Italian food, because I think I know who the next captain is.
Meanwhile, just off screen. Oh my God, she's so goddamn cool.
She
That's her turn,
says, I didn't know if I was going to get to try out the Chancellor's gift. And then she will attempt a strike. So this is
Did she have to spend
alien
momentum to move a range band?
No.
You're in the
Okay.
safe zone. Sadly.
You're
I'm
on the safe-
trying.
It's a good shout. I would. It's yeah. You just need a bigger hat and it would work.
I have 3 points on it. Okay, I don't see anyone else with more points on it.
But it's not
It
the.
might have points, but it's pretty small.
Slowly puts on my quad corn hat.
To say quad corn.
Pentacorn.
All right, you are the defender. You
Do I
can
mean
go
the
first,
octacorn?
and
Octacorn.
you get your free GM hint that she is intending to kill you. So,
Yep.
Rip.
I would advise spending everything you got.
Okay. Let's go, guys. Termination. It's daring security, right?
It is daring security.
Okay. Rolling a cool 9.
Definitely a particular person to shoot a Klingon.
I was more optimistic I could knock her down in like 2 hits, okay?
You in 2 hits, definitely.
Yeah, well, I was kind of hoping I wouldn't take too much damage on this hit and I could kill her next turn.
You might still.
Um,
You just have to
alright.
survive this hit. You might be able to drop her.
Could I argue for a callback to leads from the front? Could I argue to spend on leads from the front now, given that I am engaging in a fist fight with the enemy general?
She's not, and the problem with leads from the front is not that
Okay.
it's not that you're engaging combat, it's that you're not leading
trying.
anyone. There
Okay.
is no front here to lead from you. This is just personal one-on-one
Mhm.
combat. There's no one to inspire, no one to push forward, no one to command from the front. I
Could I
as
argue?
as long as you actually, in fact, now that you are being attacked with a lethal weapon, you can still use directive 4, and you can also fight lethally now. This
Yeah,
person
but
is
I'm trying to get a discrimination for the
Oh,
next thing. I
um,
already have it. Could I argue? Last time I
oh,
used.
my word is law. I just will require that. Oh no, you didn't attempt to.
Talk her down.
No, you didn't attempt to tell her you're under arrest or anything like. So I would even struggle to take that because
I
you
have a pitch.
go ahead.
I last used logic as the beginning of wisdom, not the end, in Legacy of Blood to beat the shit out of the other suitor. Could I do that here?
Ah,
This is a very illogical fight.
it is not a logical decision that you have made, but it could. Yes, I will take that
Okay, so I can
in
spend
both
and get the callback?
instances.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Logic is
And
the
that
beginning.
gets to remind the audience that this is just not just a character who has no family. This is you have a wife of like 2 months.
Yep. Uh-huh. This is my last mission before our honeymoon. Termination spent.
As a suggestion, although really you're just trying to get hits, but if you're trying to get a better weapon and a better roll, if you could spend your determination to give yourself nerve pinch, and you could use science instead of security to defend yourself.
I could absolutely do that. GM, could I? Well, the problem is I'm already spending determination to get the hit. So,
well, you'd have to choose. Yeah, you'd have to either get the hit or you get the better. You're getting the better.
So because
range.
she doesn't have a focus,
Mhm.
that would slightly increase your chance of getting turning zeros into ones, but it's not going to help you turn ones into twos. So
yeah.
that would it's definitely valid, but I feel like you might get
It's a gamble.
one extra hit
It's a huge
rather
gamble,
than
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, I want the more consistency. If my daring was higher, but you gotta have a dump stat. All right, so I'm giving
Yeah, I
you.
actually think that there's no option from either a talent or from the there's no way to use a determination to get a focus. But if there was, it would be super powerful.
Yeah, well, walking
Mhm.
encyclopedia and stuff like that.
I have that poke.
Oh, I guess.
I spent all my momentum elsewhere. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm giving
I
you a
guess you
full mitt of threat to roll 5. So rolling 4 plus 2.
Yeah.
It's my best bet.
Still.
Yeah, that's pretty for a 7-2 with no focus. It's not bad.
Yep.
Yeah, yep. None of my focus. I don't think I can argue the trait of Vulcan being strong because Klingons are also strong and
Yeah.
martial. So
Yeah, against her that would not help
Mhm.
because she has the traits Klingon and human prosthetics, so she does still
Mhm.
have all the musculature and bones of a
Mhm.
Klingon.
Nah, I'm not saying
Um,
that.
All right. Yeah. 5 is
That's a
a
good
better
roll.
result than I hoped for. Hit me with your worst.
See, that 0 could have been a 1. Just
Oh,
saying.
Oh, why did you say that?
yeah.
Hey, the more she
Doctor,
spends, the less
I
for the
will
rest of
avenge
us.
you.
Why? Why am I suddenly tasting marinara sauce?
Oh God.
So she has killer instinct, so no threat to make this lethal.
Yeah, so I find Klingons scary.
She does not have warrior spirit though, because like most other Klingons you've encountered, they're more TOS, so I've given them guile and cunning instead. You know what? Killing a enemy, you're kind of an admiral. She definitely will tell this story as if you're an admiral.
Yeah, I mean she's got a pennant.
Flag officer.
Yeah. And because you said that, I know you've been reading more Aubrey Martin, saying that a Commodore has a pennant. I feel like that's knowledge. That's where you got that knowledge.
Well, no, I knew that before, but yeah, it's included in my Audible subscription. So yeah, I'm going through it.
Not sponsored by Audible, but please sponsor me.
We follow the American rules. Suck it, Brits. Commodore is a rank, not a position. It is admiral adjacency.
Well, no. It is a position you have and not a rank.
Spiritually, admiral adjacency. I'm settling on.
Could someone kill the Commodore?
Anyways, the important thing is that she's gonna talk this up. So she's gonna spend a determination on the value. House de Tor is full of heroes because killing an enemy admiral, that's pretty heroic. That gets you to Stovacor.
Well, I don't know if
Is that the one you want to go
really.
to? Yes, I think so.
Is it really heroic?
Focus of bladed weapons.
You could fight all of us behind that rock wall over there. Even the odds, but no, she makes it a 1-1 fight.
Well, she tried to trap you all. It's just one of you was kind of slow.
Well, she wasn't that slow. She shot her.
Who's fast where it counts?
The one time in history a Klingon wanted to talk.
Yeah, right.
Well, they all want to talk, but most of that's only to say their name before they shoot.
Yeah, they get.
Listen. It's a boy who cried wolf situation. Okay, Klingons. If they wanted to talk more often, Solaris would believe them. In this case,
Spends the last 2 out of the personal pool and 4 off the table. Oh, and another 2. 3 because she has to pay to use determination.
Oh God. Oh God.
Could roll really bad here.
You could. Div 5 is pretty high.
Hey. That's only Div 5. I mean, 5 successes.
I think that wins because
Yeah.
you're the aggressor.
Yeah.
All right, but hey, you can't do much damage to me because you don't have. Oh, you have plenty of threat. Never
Just
mind.
regular threat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking he didn't have momentum. Yeah.
Yep.
Oops, I closed this back. Sorry, folks.
Oof. Well, rip.
Just checking what the qualities on a Batleth are. The only special thing about hers is that it has a hidden quality.
I imagine it
Mm,
has
mhm.
intense. I guess it's a heavy blade.
It is a Batleth in every respect except that it has a hidden quality. So I was double checking. I think Batleths are heavy blades, intense.
It just costs you 1 to increase the damage.
Cheap. She does not know how strong you are, but you're a Vulcan. So 5 stress to start out with. She can see that you're wearing armor, so I will spend the 2 threat for that. And then she's going to assume, because you're Vulcan, that you're pretty stout. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Vulcan captain, short and stout.
So she will spend to do 11 stress.
Jesus.
11 minus your armor.
No, I think he spent to pierce through it.
That's not a thing.
Oh, I didn't spend to pierce through it. No, no. I spent. I took into account that she could see the armor, but I didn't do anything other than add damage to overcome that.
Okay.
Because she can see that she needs to like.
I see. Okay.
So, so that's 2 down. So that's I'm taking 9.
That is correct.
Okay, so that's an injury.
No, unless you're full.
No, I'm not. I have 2 left.
Then no injury.
Oh no! Don't use that information to spend more.
No.
Okay,
No.
okay.
No. That's why I talked through her logic.
Okay.
But you stay up, right? So
I've got 2
she is
left.
going to swift task.
Do
She
you
does
have
get
a
to have that information.
do you have a decoration of gallantry by any chance?
Nope, because I don't get medals very often because Starfleet keeps not liking all of the aggressive, violent things I do.
Fair enough.
But they
She
like when I'm
says-
aggressive and violent. Figure that
Full
out.
of traits, and with the ship having traits and all these things, and having increased in rank like 4 times. So that's 2. So the good news is her difficulty goes up by 1, and if you win, you get to do damage. So you're being attacked again.
Okay. All right. Same thing.
And everything again.
Yep. 6 threat. Spending my. I assume I can spend on the same value. No callback, but the same value.
Yes.
All right. So 4 plus 2, or 4 dice plus 2. So that's 4 total. I guess 5 if we count.
Effectively 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I will also spend for
Oh,
her
hi.
to do the same again.
You wouldn't consider me present in the scene, would you, GM?
Yes, because
You are. You definitely are.
I
Because
gave you that for Solaris.
So
I didn't.
how many times have you failed a check? You failed at least once.
Who? Me or
Good guys. Solaris.
failed 1 check?
You gained 1 momentum.
I've only failed 1 check. Oh, I gained a momentum. Okay.
Oh, that's
Can I
right.
do anything with that?
Give him less threat.
Just
That's
give him less threat, but
Okay, so yeah, you have one less threat, I guess.
That's from backup plans.
Can we use momentum to avoid injuries the way he can with threat?
No, that's what stress is for.
Okay.
No, it's a penalty on mine. I didn't avoid the injury. You get to take stress without spending momentum. I have to spend threat to be allowed to take stress damage.
Okay.
So it's it's
I'm
a
just
penalty.
grasping at the walls. Okay.
Yeah, you're whittling her down.
Yeah,
that's
that's what
still
you
stress
don't
her.
want.
Yeah, because she still has a stress check that can be filled, irregardless of the threat on the table.
So that
Or-
is 6.
Shoot.
Oh,
Oh,
so
it's
wait,
in
ignore that last 0. No, she spent. I spent for her
determination
to
again.
use the value. House to Taurus full of heroes again.
Well, if she rolled the extra dice, does that counteract spending the value?
No,
Okay.
we've always just ignored the last dice if too many are rolled.
Okay.
Um,
Well, our R.I.P. Commodore Solaris. Her
Per-
hat wasn't big enough.
Precautions, once per scene, when an ally suffers an injury, may prevent it. I'm thinking precautions-wise, I might have talked you through hand-to-hand combat if we're expecting.
Like Klingons.
Like on the elevator ride down. Yeah.
It's like we're expecting a fight. It may get to melee, so get used to people throwing heavy things at you. Thinking you're not knowing you're going to be, and also we might be fighting Klingons because we might run into not necessarily this Klingon, just a Klingon. And by the way, there's a Darhar Master down here, so I don't know where they are, but they might come down here and fight us. So all it does is cancel the injury, but she's still full of stress, and you still lose something because I can't stop the stress from happening. I can just stop the injury from happening.
I was about. Yeah, you may not be lethally injured, but I think you're still defeated, right?
No, if you're full of stress, then you just lose access to one of your
Abilities.
one of your attributes
You're
you're exhausted. It's just that if she takes more damage after that, then she's screwed because she can't take the she has no more stress to take.
Oh yeah, I don't think that that's what I was double checking. I don't think it's gonna, because I think the Batlith on its own is going to push her over.
Yeah, because I only have 2 spots left, so I'm taking 2 injuries, right? One from hitting the max, then one from taking extra damage.
No,
Okay.
they're preventing the lethal injury that's caused by you taking damage at all.
Okay.
Injury, period. It doesn't have to be lethal. The injury just doesn't happen.
Okay, I was just saying that it was lethal, but yeah, I was not trying to like narrow it down to only one type.
Yeah.
They are preventing the injury that's happening to you because of the strike, but that doesn't change that you will go down because you don't because you have taken more stress than you have available.
But that's the definition of an injury: is taking more stress than you can afford.
Right.
You take an injury because you suffer stress and can't ignore it and can't spend your stress to get rid of it. Because you don't take an injury anywhere before that. It's only once you're like, oh, I don't have enough. I'm either choosing to drop and not take any stress, or I don't have more stress to take, so I don't go down. Arguably, she might not even take the stress at all because the injury doesn't happen, but it makes more sense that you would get full on stress in this instance and then lose and be fatigued.
And there's not negative stress. So despite the fact that you're overfilling the stress track, it's still going to be just the stress track is filled and no injury. So you're up with a full stress track.
Mm-hmm.
Because like injuries care about event of taking stress, right? Or event of taking injury without stress.
I'm reading all of it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, you don't suffer any stress because you only suffer stress to avoid an injury, and you don't need to do that.
Ah.
Um,
You just say, I'm going to take the injury, but I prevent it.
Oh yeah, I suppose you could just do
Mhm.
it that way. Yeah, you just say, "Oh, I'll just take the injury, prevent the injury." Okay, I don't take any stress. I can only do that once per
As-
scene though, so that get out of jail free card's gone. I can't help anymore.
Yeah, yeah. You said you told me if some maneuver that if a Klingon swings their blade like this, you duck like that, and so she's perfectly lined up a killing blow on Soloris, and then I remember what you've told me, and I just barely duck out of the way.
That trick is not going to work twice.
No.
Nope, because she knows now. She knows the trick now.
Yeah, she knows that you know that feint.
all right. Though she did not, though she did strike you, you have put into practice a technique that Artana had a quick chance to show you, which helps to force the attacker to bend their wrist, which hits you with the flat of the bat'leth instead of the blade. Though she, still successfully having hit you, pulls hard back on the bat'leth and throws the rifle to your feet,
Spends the disarm. Yep.
and then she will create the trait dual. No,
Of the fates.
That's
Oh, by the way, we get a momentum because Soloris failed the task.
true. Yep.
yeah.
For all that helps.
Every little bit, right?
Inferior duelist. She's forced this into a melee fight, and both of you know you are the less capable martial artist.
Mhm.
So, and during a normal Star Trek episode, I might actually change scenes, but that would have dire implications for how combat works. So I can't. So this is going to have to go back to you. Kind of have to.
Okay.
Well,
I'm
the
glad
stress
Chris
stays
Sorry.
brought
around
this up.
anyway. To be fair,
I thought it all went away.
no.
No, stress stays between scenes now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to spend time healing.
Oh, okay.
Then you can cut.
Yeah, you can totally cut. We're not. It's only if someone was dying we'd be worried about that.
Although you do have
Do.
to spend, though you do have to spend threat for that, or is this just a normal end scene?
This is just a normal. I didn't. There's no reversal. A reversal is not just the scene ends. It's bad things happen.
I
Nothing particularly extra bad has happened.
All right, it's someone else's problem now. I'm running to the bathroom.
Oh God.
So there's nothing stopping them from securing low orbit. There's nothing stopping them from securing far orbit.
D.
Nothing stopping them from attempting to secure the spaceport, although they haven't really done it yet. But they are being severely slowed everywhere else. Though your actions have firmly pushed at least the away team on their side now, which Solaris has the 4 because she has the security team attached to her. Actually, I should probably change that now. Because y'all don't really have, as individuals, you don't really have the power to kind of change these consequences, but we do take into account what you've done during the scene.
Huh? Oh, you have to get rid of my thing.
Matters as the team. But y'all eliminated their team down here. So they are trying to make intensity 4, but y'all have a high resistance because there's so many of y'all active. Actually, these guys are gone too. But y'all have resistance 7, so no progress is made down here. But the thing that changes the situation is Inverni, you've been talking a lot with Joe DeTore. And you've bought all the time you can as she becomes frustrated. She's gonna spread out her fleet, these guys, to secure the other areas of the system. But one of the D4s starts moving into the atmosphere, and it looks like it's on an attack pattern.
Does her getting
She's still
frustrated mean
talking
she
to you.
abandoned the argument?
Sorry, say that again?
Does her getting frustrated mean she abandoned the argument? So in the records, Inverni won the argument about who was legally right to be here?
She never stops talking.
She's still arguing.
She's still arguing.
She's talking while the ship's lining up to shoot us.
But yeah. She knows that she is tired of this and moving on. But she's going to try to lure you into a false sense of security. But
It's just
Yeah.
a rep.
yeah.
That's not going to look good in court.
So Inverni,
Yes.
it looks like you have a ship attempting to engage in hostile action. Weapons are hot, shields are on. It's approaching you. So you definitely have justification for defensive actions, and depending on how much you're ready to defend yourself against a court martial, you might have justification for hostile action.
You see, we're a scale, what, 2?
Yeah.
You're scale 2, they're scale 3.
Yeah. So, their scale, I thought you said, it was D4, yes, right, that is.
Yeah,
Like
she
4,
didn't
yeah.
deploy the whole fleet. She sent one ship that should be
Yeah.
superior to you towards you.
It is superior to us. It's also flying, and we're not.
Yeah.
So my sincere hope, is that they are not actually stupid enough to directly fire upon us right now. Because that would be very blatant. My hope is that they're
They've
trying to
already
intimidate
been
us
shooting at
away.
us.
They've been
Yeah,
shooting at you down there. They
He
haven't
doesn't
shot
know
at
any
the
of that.
ship.
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Is
Benji
that
doesn't know that yet.
how?
So- We're not going to sit there and do nothing. We're going to take off. That's the order.
Okay.
Because while unless I'm mistaken and I haven't been informed yet, transporters will still be capable of functioning if necessary, right?
Yeah, we can't because of
You
the
can only
minerals
transport
and
people
everything.
who are on the surface or in the
Yeah.
spaceport. Down in the
Okay.
mines, you can't get a signal on. Actually,
Yeah.
I take
Well,
that
that won't change if we're landed or not.
Yeah.
I do take that back. But I'll narrate that in a second. Jim, your expectation is that you can't beam anyone. That
Yeah,
has been
so-
true so far.
Even if we're landed on a planet surface, we probably couldn't beam someone from beneath the surface, so us taking off does not... It limits them being able to run onto the ship, but it still gives us plenty of options to retrieve them if necessary. Yellow alert.
All
Have
right,
the ship
so
take off.
taking off is a task.
Yes.
Because this way with yellow alert, you'll at least have shields, and it's obvious your weapons aren't powered up.
And you do still have one crew support if you want to bring someone in.
Who would be suggested?
Depends what we're doing.
Probably the
Well, there's
navigator.
the problem of neither of our pilots are good at piloting.
The
Why would you do
navigator's not.
this?
Did you make a navigator who's not actually good at flying?
She can
Fine
navigate,
at
not
flying,
fly.
just bad at dodging.
Oh,
We don't need
well,
to
taking
dodge
off
right
is not dodging.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
fair,
that-
but I'm looking forward to what happens next.
Also, it's a good thing to point out. The ship does have a point defense system, so even if you don't engage, if someone shoots at you, and you haven't shot this round, you do have active defenses like that. So that might like inform how you act.
that helps with
True.
torpedoes, just so you know.
Okay.
Control con. Difficulty 0, assisted by structure con.
So I assume we're activating the navigator?
I think
Yes,
that'd
please.
probably be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, double check because of your scale and the way the talent works. It is diff 0. So
Mm-hmm.
an override could do it at diff 1.
Actually, I think we should
when you take off, the diff is reduced by 2, and the
Oh.
diff to land is only 2 because you're scale 2.
Oh.
You're actually a ship at the scale where it's like reasonable to be doing this. It's when it's like scale 3 and 4 this becomes
Yeah.
more
With Enterprise
complicated.
D, we could land in Enterprise D. Why would you want to do that? Good luck getting something that big off the ground again.
I'm going to recommend we activate Suzuki rather than the navigator Shinai, because Suzuki has a better role here, a focus, and a talent.
Hey, I'm not a bad show. Not bad. He's the better guy. I'm always one to say get the new guy some experience, but maybe this isn't the time for people to be doing learning lessons.
Yeah.
I was about to suggest using a favor to get him to roll a task without committing to using crew support, but I think lots of people have favors with Suzuki, but none of them are here.
I think I have a negative with myself.
Favor from Gwen, take care of my ship while I'm away.
Oh, you have one?
I do have one, yeah.
No.
No, I'd need you to be in the scene.
Ah.
Because you're like, you'd be like shouting at him to do something, and then he like quickly does it or something like that.
Yeah, I guess I was more
Like he
thinking
just
like
trusts you
before
to
she
do
went
it rather
down.
than waiting on the captain to repeat the order.
Got it.
Yeah, you were saying it's like
Alright,
diff
right.
0 anyway, right? Because of
Yeah, it's div 0.
Still has to be rolled though, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, and he has to be activated. That was just I was looking to see if you could avoid activating him.
Cool. I'll roll him up then.
You would.
And the ship structure con.
Shit doesn't help, sadly. It doesn't help. Because it has structure of garbage. Made of aluminum and tinfoil.
It's actually more structurally sound than just about any other archer.
Ooh, it made it thicker. It has an extra layer of aluminum.
2 momentum gained. And the ship lifts off into the atmosphere.
All right. And he's
This
going
is when
to attempt to be doing this. Oh, sorry.
Revere,
Mhm.
you see an indicator come up on your panel. Active deep space emergency signal. And it is a transportation request.
Oh, the screamer.
Lieutenant, I've got Starfleet emergency signal transporter request. Looks like it's coming from the planet below. I'm assuming it'll tell me that.
It does, and the screamer is boosting the signal. It would be dangerous, but it's lowered the diff down to 5 instead of 6. Impossible.
We could bring them aboard. We could bring them aboard, but we'd have to lower shields.
Do you believe yourself confident in your ability to acquire that signal?
Eats an apple to let y'all know he's an ass. What?
It's actually a deep fried hot dog.
What?
Heck yeah.
No, no proof. No, never mind. Oh, that's good. That's how you know he's a hero.
Yeah. I'm pretty confident in my ability to lock on.
Are you confident in your ability to get them aboard the ship is the question.
I believe so. But again, we'd have to drop shields.
Yeah.
Very well.
Oh, you actually want me to do it? Okay. Hey, I'm gonna go. Go ahead.
Listen, remember, he wasn't
You're not
someone that fought
combat,
in the
so
war.
no need for a swift task yet.
Yeah.
He
like didn't fight in the war. He's not. He's aware that the Klingons are bastards.
Right.
But he's trying to be optimistic in the treaty.
Fair enough. I'm gonna have to do an override, so that'll add to the difficulty.
Yeah,
Diff
because
6.
it would take too long to get to the.
Yeah, you'll actually have to go to the transporter room, or you'll push this back into impossible territory.
So yeah, I will sprint down to the transporter room.
All right.
Well, that gives time for other stuff to happen.
Yeah. There's one.
Stewart does say a few things before,
Hmm.
Yeah, but we can retroactively.
Well, for Revere having to actually move through the ship, I imagine gets him some time.
Well, Screamer doesn't let you say anything.
Time of plot.
It just lets you. It just blasts a really loud signal.
Yeah, I wasn't saying he was saying stuff through the Screamer. He was saying stuff to you guys in the mine.
Oh,
which we will handle. We will handle different. I don't want to cut this.
No worries.
Yeah.
So I believe rather than the normal control, I think this just the daring is called for here.
Okie dokie. Daring engineering. Let me look at
Oh. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, never mind. Yep, it explains.
The the thing I'm also thinking about is like the big thing down in the mine is that you got to clear that blockage.
Us, yeah, but our captain's
Yeah,
being shot
you
at.
get
Yeah, we'll have to dig our way out. Yeah.
well phasers or disruptors.
Okay, I'm going to call back to Enigma, where I did an emergency beam out of the beings from the wildly gyrating ship.
I don't remember. Oh, I remember now. She needed help from y'all, and she used the escape pod, and it broke mid-flight. So it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. It took me a second to, yeah, I didn't remember that as the gyrating ship, because that makes me think it's doing like a jig.
So no, it was just kind of wildly spinning in multiple axes.
Was it doing a jig? It was a jig.
Yeah.
Um,
And that would be value 1, which is performance specs are just estimates.
I would take that. Yep.
Okay, cool. So I'll get the call back.
Yep. Screamers don't normally do this. Someone specifically set this up as a favor.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
then we've got 2 momentum. So
Which I don't remember
will-
if I actually pointed out. Uh,
So do I need to mark off a favor?
yeah, that was a repayment
Um,
for a favor you had with Joe Detour because she was about to become an enemy. So I thought at the that because she still owed you that, she'd make sure it was paid off.
got it. Got it.
So I will give you 2 momentum and 1 threat for 4 or 2 more dice. Let's see.
You gave threat.
Singular.
Yeah, 1 threat.
Also,
Let's see.
I need everything I get when someone
Transporters.
tries to shoot me again.
oh god damn it! I just realized I have now lost my favors, some of my favors because like Shoshalin died and
Well, we know whose fault that is.
I think mostly mine.
Shh, don't tell him.
All right, since I use the performance specs are just estimates of value, I'm going to call on the chief engineer superpower for an extra reroll if I decide I need it.
Oh, pardon me. Sorry.
Okay, let's see what we got. Looking for diff 5, so
Bloody hell.
that's 8.
Ships sensors engineering. That is 4 momentum gained, and we shift scenes back as the doctor. You see the doctor materialize on board.
We do? Well, we're not there.
We see the doctor just disappear into the ether. Someone else sees him get on board.
Here we go.
Oh,
Back in the mine again.
yeah, no, I was moving. I was saying what he saw while actually moving to y'all to jump back in time a little bit.
So I have a
Oh,
quick
okay.
question for the table.
Uh-huh.
Do we need the doctor here because a bunch of people are down and we might be able to do something about
Oh,
that?
they're all dead.
Well, never mind then.
Yeah, no, the Klingons just murdered them.
Their scene has come and gone, sadly.
They were dead. They were dead when you got here. That's she. Like I said, she was checking them.
She's not a doctor. What would she know? These people mine rocks and let themselves be repressed by corporate entities. What a backward culture.
All right.
Unfortunately, I was acting on the idea that two
escalation.
other
She gets a
people-
disruptor rifle.
Go ahead,
I like
try
turn
me,
around.
lady.
I like that we're victim blaming the entire proletariat of this planet.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, Doctor,
Hey,
you
one of us
are
hesitated.
your
It wasn't-
restraints are removed, and you see Griffin, Artana, and several other security team members.
We need to get out of here.
Thanks, Doctor.
I've activated a screamer I was provided, but I
What?
do not know how long it will be before a proper lock is able to be made.
I will correct you. You don't know that that's what it does. You just know that it sends a help signal. That's all she told you.
Oh. Hmm. Oh, I have an interesting thought. Since I haven't actually disappeared yet,
Right.
if they, Tweer is surmising that if they do lock on, if they do see the signal, they'll try to beam him out. So Tweer,
I need a reason
uh-huh.
engineering to be allowed to know that. I
Yeah,
told
that's
the basically the audience knows Revere has figured that out, but she didn't tell you that it could do this, and this is not the normal function. The normal function is just for it to scream out into deep space, "Help me." It's not supposed to be a signal repeater.
hmm
But,
what's the
you
diff?
haven't had time to look at it, so I will give you reason engineering diff 2.
Okie dokie. I will spend one threat to momentum.
Doot, 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 doot.
I have no focuses. This isn't my worst roll though. I get a momentum back.
One momentum, and this has been modified. It's transmitting your location and approximate details about you over deep space. So it would make it much easier for someone to lock onto you.
In which case, Tweer will approach the group and say, this is transmitting a signal. If we're going to get someone out of here, they need to be holding this. And he looks to he looks to he looks to Griffin.
Vice Executive Winters speaks up and says, I'd be willing to to make a offer for that ability."
Shut up, management.
Doctor, we need to prioritize Starfleet and Federation personnel to get out of here. So make a medical call. I'm going to be working on these darn rocks, sir.
Rocks.
Because right now he's of the mind that the ship probably needs its pilot.
If things are going hot, the ship needs me.
If Solaris was there and she got a vote, that would be her choice.
Yep.
If Solaris was here, I'd be throwing it in her face.
Yeah, we'd be shoving it into your hands.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
luckily for me, I'm in a death fight in a
Yeah.
cave.
Yeah. So yeah, he's going to put the screamer in in Griffin's hands.
She's gonna take it. Second time she takes a thing from the doctor and gets the hell out of the place.
You hand it to Griffin and turn to Kaufman to start talking about what each of you know and what's been going on, and you hear a energizing sound, and Griffin disappears.
Not a moment too soon.
I hope, Doctor, you made sure she grabbed someone on the way out. Doctor? God damn it.
Could I grab someone on the way out? Like, is that possible?
You had you didn't know when it was going to happen.
Yeah. It was more my guy going like, oh, and since you're beaming up, I imagine you made sure she's standing next to someone ahead of time. No. Oh. Well.
Whoops.
All right. We will go back to this combat in a new round.
Yeah, as we just cut
Except
back in.
now, Artana, because I think y'all have activated all your supports, so it's only up to Artana. But Artana will count as being in the combat, as far as trying to get you out.
Vaporize that rubble.
You go first because she went last.
Yeah, as we, cut back in on Soloris, bloody, shirt ripped, hair tousled. It would be a minor to pick up the gun, right?
Yeah, it's within reach.
Mm-hmm.
Just eats a minor to do it.
Yes, it is a minor.
So it would be a minor to pick it up. Can I give you threats for minors?
You have momentum.
It has to be momentum. It's not an immediate spend. I don't think.
So
I'm double checking.
So am I.
Okay.
Hey, you could try to vaporize that wall.
Oh God, no. Soloris is not thinking logically here. She just thinks Klingon almost
No, you
said
can't
shoot
spend
kill
threat for
Klingon.
it.
No, the only one you could would be the only minor you can buy is keeping initiative or something like that, but that's not the issue.
Okay. So for my free minor, I want to pick up the gun, and then 2 momentum, I would like to aim it and charge it for intense again. And I want to give you a full meta threat. I am completely out of determinations now. And yeah, I'm just gonna roll 5 dice and hope for the best.
Oh my god.
Thankfully, it's a rifle. You can reroll all of it. Why is it daring
all of
security
it.
anyway?
Okay, so I will reroll 4 more.
It's control security.
Well,
Oh,
I
is
was
it
gonna say
control? Okay, well now it's
So-
all messed up. Yeah.
Hold on.
10, 11.
What's your control is 10?
Yeah, control is 11.
1, 2.
So that would have been 2 hits. You re-rolled the 15. Because I'm going to assume that you re-rolled the zeros in order.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That's
that
my
would
bad.
give you 3 hits.
Okay.
And then you re-rolled too many dice for because your original roll had 2 successes.
Okay. So we'll just ignore the last 2.
Oh, no, that first one was still land, yeah? The far left one.
2 plus 11 is 13.
Yep, 13.
Actually, if it's all right with you, I think we'll just take that you re-rolled every dice because of how many dice you re-rolled.
That's fine.
Yeah. Plus,
because the other way is to assume that you re-rolled some of your successes, or that or to lop off the extras, which would also deprive you of. There's no way to do it without assuming you did something that lost you a success.
Yeah,
but
no,
you still succeed at the task if we do it that way.
Oh, and do you have anything that generates bonus?
Ignore the last 2. That was my fault. So that's 4 successes: the 10, the 11, the 2, and the 6.
Yes.
So that's 2 momentum generated. Okay. So you'd be able to add up, pull it to 7 if you spent the 2 for intense.
I'm gonna go for it.
Your medal doesn't refresh every scene, right?
I think it's once. I'll double check the wording.
Probably once per adventure.
Once per mission.
Once per mission.
I think
yeah, that makes sense.
medals are always once per mission to prevent them from
Yeah.
being ludicrously broken.
Yeah. Oh yeah, makes sense.
Was this lethal?
I didn't give you the threat for it, and I'm going to say no because previously I'd spent for the determination on the assumption that I was trying to capture her. So I believe this is still Sun.
Yeah.
Because also narratively, I think she just picks up the phaser, aims, and shoots. She's not fuddling with settings.
It was that max stun in the first place. I just shoot it again. Like, check it real quick. Like, it is gonna shoot, right? It is, yes. My question is, does a personal threat come back from scene to scene, or does it refresh? Is it permission? That I don't know.
Oh, I don't think so.
That would be really powerful.
It depends.
Yeah.
It's gotta be permission.
I can double check, but we've never done. I've never.
We never had to worry
Right.
about it before.
It
If it
definitely
comes-
has had. It definitely could have come up if it does work. I definitely have been making a major mistake if it does work that way.
I don't feel like it's balanced if it works that way, though.
Mm-hmm. Because then that would punish the players. It would punish the system for ever cutting between players doing things, which is
Personal threat.
a strange
personal
choice.
threat.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't. It wouldn't refresh because the only time stuff refreshes anyway would be in mission to mission, session to session. And you get threat as a GM from.
Oh no! If an NPC appears in multiple scenes, that NPC's personal threat is refreshed to full at the start of each scene.
That's
Oh
unfortunate.
God.
Oh,
Y'all have been
Oh,
getting it
damn.
easy.
but I mean, I will say we explicitly cut away from the scene on the assumption that nothing was changing. I would not. Okay. I mean, that's fine, but it's probably gonna kill me.
Oh, you're still alive. My thing turned back on. But we're back. We're in a loop now because we can't. If we change scenes away from her, she'll just get her threat back. I didn't realize that when I said that at the time when I was talking about it earlier either. I was like, I don't know how that works.
No, I didn't know it either because I have not been running that way.
No.
That's why I said y'all been getting it easy. I don't
Yeah.
think it's gonna matter, but
Yeah, because she can run. She still takes stress. Her stress is still being filled up.
Yeah, that is an important distinction.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
Ooh. That's nasty though.
Yeah. I would kind of argue though that since there was a discussion before we switched scenes to make sure that nothing was going to change, that might not be best to flip on that rule now.
Oh. So I'm wrong again.
Mm-hmm.
NPCs don't have stress. That's not a thing anymore. They just avoid injury if they have threat to do it with. That's why minor NPCs can't take stress to avoid damage. That's not even an option for them. There is no stress
Right.
to take. They have no stress track. They either have threat to take it or don't.
Their stress is basically how much threat is the GM willing to pour into this particular
Hold on, because
character.
that was not my understanding or reading at all.
347, they do not have stress.
I mean, that's a very big change. We don't have to implement that in the middle of a combat scene.
Yeah.
We can do that going forward.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with keeping that as is this session, given none of us were aware of that.
Yeah.
I had read. Oh, NPCs do not have stress. Okay.
Yeah.
I had kind of skipped over that part and read the next part and been like, okay, they have stress and they have to spend threat to use that stress. So that's why I was saying earlier in the episode that you don't want it to work like NPCs because that's just worse, but it's not. Okay. So yeah, so this fight is difficult. Do this fight next week and it becomes much more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I wasn't looking at any of that or considering any of that. Y'all just keep bringing up things. I
mean, the only reason why Soloris is the only one here is because everyone else said, yes, I'm rushing ahead. And I said, maybe be cautious.
well, no, I did spend threat. I
Sure,
spent
but
threat
like,
to split the party.
okay, but I'm saying, like, if other people had said, I'm sticking by the Commodore who's not good at
That is true.
combat,
You
then
would've
it would have been a 2-on-1. Yeah.
I almost suggested we at least have one of the NPCs stay back with the captain, and I was like, nah, it'll be fine.
That's why I was trying to play some of the security back with the captain. I figured they're going to stick with her, not
That's why
rush up with us.
when you did that, I asked to clarify to make sure what was happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this was just a split-second thing. Everyone was rushing ahead. No one thought this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And hey, cinematic fight.
It's true.
It's pretty cool.
So what I was trying to determine was when you're allowed to spend determination. Moment of inspiration and perfect opportunity. One comes before, one comes after the roll. Special technique is immediate. It's not tied to a roll.
But you've ruled that people's like abilities, like their like the human ability to generate momentum, can only be done on their turn. It can't be done out of in combat timing. Which that technically isn't an action. That's just a thing humans do. They just generate momentum.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if we want to free it up so I can add momentum at any time, I'm good with that.
In the spirit of reading the rules of the game, we might actually do that.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm not gonna own any of this. It's all y'all reading the rules. We were doing fine, and then Corbinian started reading the rules and saying things. And
I've read the rules
can't say
once
y'all,
when
I'm
the
not
system
reading
came
shit.
out, and then I forgot most of it.
Yep.
yeah, I was all ready to let the NPC go down, but then you started saying things, and now I'm like, oh no, they don't need to. They could go ahead and win this fight, but is that fair? Because you didn't tell me to start reading the rules till just now.
Well, I figured you had, so
Well, that was
Well,
your
why
first
wait
one.
till now? Why not say only several weeks ago when I was doing it wrong?
See, Corbinian's a helper.
No, I think what Corbinian is ambitious, and he knows he's he's moving up in the world. He's going to be like third or fourth officer if I die. So one
So
step closer
true.
to that chair.
I don't want to be captain. Captains get shot at and stuff. It's really dangerous to be the captain. They really
Captains
should have a
get
rule
shot
to
at
keep
and
them on
stuff
their
because
ship.
Captains get shot at and stuff because people like you keep telling the GM there are extra new unique ways to brutally murder them.
All right. You fire again, and she tries to fight through it, but she goes down.
Yay!
The GM doesn't have to keep her up.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to keep the gun. Soloris extremely damaged from that fight. Sort of. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, she kind of slinks back against the wall, keeps a gun pointed at her, and uses her communicator to say, "I believe I have subdued the former. Oh, what was her name?
You asking her Klingon name or her human name?
Her former human name.
Sonya Beck.
The former Commander Beck. I need assistance immediately."
The rocks start turning bright Yellow, and in a blue flash, the pile of rocks disappears.
Classic
is
TOS
murdered.
editing.
Doctor, need your help over here. Captain's hurt.
She's going to motion for one of the security crewmen to capture her, and she's going to say, Aratana, I believe she was trying to give me some information before I rudely interrupted her with a phaser. When she's conscious, please, please, using your skills as communications officer, and get all of the information you can out of her.
Communication, communications officer, code word for interrogator.
Nice shooting,
Uh,
Commodore. I'll mention as I see the security guy like tie her up and stuff. It's like, oh, those are two very bad shots. Practically burned holes through it.
But it was almost not enough. I was a split second away from certain death there. Your guidance has kept me alive.
Here's a question. I know it would have been taken away from me in the moment, but was my medical kit still around?
Yeah, you are able to retrieve it.
Damn.
Okay, cool.
I mean, hooray.
This would be the second game in a row where you've taken away my equipment.
You should just have it strapped to you. You really should. You should stop
yeah,
losing it.
yeah.
Like Fox Mulder, except without it. It's not guns. It's medical kits.
Yep. As he cracks open his medical kit. Uh,
So Floris doesn't have any injuries.
Yeah, I just have stress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I narrated it. She didn't actually get stabbed. She was able to deflect the blow.
Yeah, I was narrating that she was wounded from the fight, but she's just got a bit of stress. You should focus on the downed commander.
The
Yeah.
downed.
Oh, no, the Klingon commander.
Oh. As he's going to start scanning. Although, I mean, I think there is a first aid action I can take to help you regain some of that stress.
Yeah.
It's like one of the only ways you can.
First aid is to help a character who's got an injury or has been defeated. There might be something else.
I swear the system was the first one to give rules for or over one he gave rules for helping remove stress mid-fight, but maybe I'm wrong.
There's a talent that does that, for one.
Okay.
After a successful task, you can spend 2 momentum to remove 1 stress repeatable on your safe or an ally who can hear you. You can't do any more than 3 stress in this way. So in theory, you can try to ask the GM, hey, can I scan her? You succeed, generate some momentum, and then you might be able to heal some of that stress that way. Otherwise, you just rest for a while, and it goes away after like a few minutes of rest. Gets rid of 4, half an hour is 8.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Cool.
Yeah, Solaris will definitely have time to get rid of 4 here. For Beck, it would be Daring Medicine difficulty 2.
Well, and as presumably we're not trying to wake her up, right?
No, we are. We need to interrogate her.
Waking her up is treating the injury is you do after waking them up, I guess.
Okay, so Daring Medicine.
Yeah, because that's while the injury's there. Sorry.
So treating the injury is going to be like difficulty 5.
Oh.
She got hit really hard.
But she's not in any like lethal danger, right?
No, it won't kill her, but it's still like debilitating. Like she has a trait representing like she has like phaser burn 5 on her.
Also, she's harder to heal because of Brocklow, isn't that how it works, or is it the other, or is it easier? I don't know if that changed.
It does affect it.
I was gonna say it does affect it, doesn't it? I think it makes it easier.
Yeah, it's
because
Borg.
they're
I know
more
it's Borg
robust.
because I knew Borg made it harder, but I don't know. I forget if Buckfall
Yes.
made it easier or harder to help a Klingon.
You get a reroll. First aid gives a the first aid task. They get a reroll, an extra reroll. The person
nice.
healing does.
Cool. Good. That's neat.
That's
And you
cool.
said it's diff 5.
No, to wake them up is diff 2. To treat the injury is diff 5.
Hmm. I assume you guys would like me to treat the injury.
Yes.
Okay. In which case, physician focus. Sorry, physician trait.
Yeah, that'll bring it down.
And I'll assist you.
Emergency. Cool. Emergency medicine.
Yep.
Focus. I will spend a threat for a third die. And spend my Starfleet Surgeon's decoration. To lower the difficulty by 2.
Okay, that brings it down to 2.
Nice.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. And then I get a reroll, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Wait. I have Legion of Honor. Quashed.
Oh, there you
I was gonna have some fun.
go.
No, you can't quash.
Why not?
You can give me threat, or you can take a complication.
Legion of Honor, or ignore a single complication suffered on a
Okay,
task.
okay,
Choose to do
sorry.
this before you announce the
thought you were-
complication's effect.
I thought you were doing something that gave you bonus momentum, and you were trying to use that.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Medal of Honor is the one that only gives me the bonus momentum. Legion of Honor is the one that gives me the option of bonus momentum or quash complication.
All right. So
And here's a bonus because
4
someone
on a
helped you.
Mm-hmm.
4 on a diff 2 is 2 momentum gained.
Anything you want to do with that bonus? Because that's just something that you just create.
Mm-hmm. Do we have any questions about perhaps her physiology that I might have clocked while treating her?
There's nothing that's significantly changed since the last time you treated her.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm willing to let that bonus whiff away.
You could spend that one and one on the table to heal an extra stress off the captain because she's nearby.
Does that work?
Recovering, just so I'm not just making it up, it's 278 recovering stress.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Commodore, you regain a stress.
Great. Thank you.
Well, at least the injury won't complicate. At least she can breathe better, but I do
Shall
need to
I
speak
awake
with.
her?
I would appreciate that, Doctor.
Staring medicine difficulty 2
Physician trait.
down to 1.
Cool. Spending a momentum for a third die.
I'll assist if you need it, but I don't think he'll need it.
Yeah, I probably won't need it. And presumably the Bracool helps me again.
Yes, it's part of the same. We've done it backwards. I don't think it requires you to do them in the order, but these two things are part of the same task that is tied to Breckle.
Okay.
These are both the first aid action.
I do technically have 2 rerolls because I'm also using cautious medicine here.
Nice.
I'm gonna reroll. I'll reroll 2. That's 3 hits.
I'll stay out of it.
So, yeah, 2 momentum generated.
Yep. And she comes to, looks dazed for a second, and notice that she's been restrained.
And presumably disarmed.
That will require a insight security difficulty 3.
Sure. I will take some extra effort and bring down the difficulty by 1, suffering 3 stress.
Okay.
Buy a die with a momentum. Would my knowledge of hand-to-hand combat help me here? Like, I know things that she might have on her person, like knives and daggers and batons, things like that. That's more
No,
what I
this
wanna
is no. This the thing going on is really unusual.
know. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, then yeah. I got it, just barely.
It might be nothing, but there's an unusual leather wrapped metal bar on the ground that you should probably take possession of.
I'll kick that over to the security person to take custody of.
Carouse says, I think that's just debris, ensign, but you're in charge. And she picks it up.
Thank you very much. Something funny about it's all. Wakey, wakey.
She wakes up and says, I did not expect your captain to be so violent. And she kind of spits blood out of her mouth.
Well, when you walk up on a Starfleet officer in Klingon uniform armed after an explosion, I think she did the right call.
I'm sure she'll write in her report that I was armed. I came to her wishing to ensure treaty obligations were met. That is all I'm here to do.
Oh, yeah? So, just coincidence you came right after an explosion that nearly killed her. And separated her from her security detail. Oh, and never mind all the Klingon operatives that we've taken custody of. Would you like to take responsibility for those, or are they going to be criminals going rogue or something like that? Dishonor their families and have them all hung by the gibbets or whatever it is you do.
I don't know what you're talking about, but if that explanation seems prudent to you, it seems prudent to me.
I'm going to give you a chance to explain what the hell is going on here for what you're really after. Otherwise, any protections I have extended no longer exist. One of us has broken their word, and it ain't me. I have a bunch of dead people in the other room, and your people are responsible for it. I don't think you're an idiot. You've pulled operations before, and I don't think you're not involved in this, or ignorant of it.
This be an opposed presence security, I think, because she is relying on the treaty.
Well, Aratana, you might just get to continue having your rivalry with this lady after all.
Oh, not really. She's gonna get vaporized here in a second.
Like the Zhou threatened Inverni with. Generally, the stipulation of the treaty is personnel are interrogated and returned to avoid conflict. And that's you're trying to pry this out of her while she's trying to remain tight-lipped, accepting that you get to interrogate her, but knowing that
She waits me out, she can get out of it.
all she's got to do is wait a month or two in a Federation cell, and then she's out.
I'm willing to take a ding here. I'm just reminding you because I did tell her this. I'm threatening to kill her if she doesn't fess up.
That
may change what she does.
It may, but it also, with witnesses,
she may think I won't do it.
No. She definitely might believe you. I'm just trying to determine. That feels like a kind of automatic court martial, a lethal, like executing without trial.
That's
why
very war crimesy.
If you shot her while she was trying to like harm someone, that totally on board with that. But
that's what I'm kind of hoping me insinuating it might save me, rather than spelling out with 2 officers next to me. But yeah, I understand. No. If I shoot her down, I'm 100%.
If you threaten her, threatening her is one thing, and threatening her, it might just get you a ding.
Yeah.
What I was trying to say is, if you actually just execute her, I might. That feels like you just get court-martialed. That there's not a role or an episode about it. That's just done.
I totally
because that's very war crimesy, my dude.
I don't think Tawir's gonna let that go.
No, I know. Well, hell, I'm incorruptible, so I turned myself in anyway.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I shot her.
Yeah. So, yeah, you are correct if you are threatening it. I was afraid there, though. You were planning on it, which is a whole different.
Yeah, no.
I will take it as a ding because it's not something that you.
Not supposed to do
it's not acceptable practice within Starfleet security to threaten executions.
I'm laying the foundation for I offer single warning, not 2 to fire. That's why.
Oh.
Yeah. So Loris here handed
Yeah.
this off to Aratana because she trusts Aratana a lot to do things like this, not realizing what the situation she just put Aratana in is.
Yeah. Like, I promised I'd kill her. It's like, do you think I was kidding? Yeah, no. I'm waiting on her roll to see how it goes. I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to see if that changed what she was doing on her end. Because I might activate traits or talents or whatever. So. Sorry for making things more complicated, everybody. I feel like I'm the guy who keeps making things worse.
I'm the one who just decided to shoot the big bad instead of talk. So.
Yeah. Episodes are about to get a lot more exciting with recurring characters because they're going to be much more difficult to deal with than I've been letting y'all handle them.
Mm-hmm.
And also surprise instant momentum whenever we want it.
Yeah. Well, with determination spends anyway.
Yeah, but those are a dime a dozen.
That one, I don't intend to promise that it is going to be done. We will read it at the end of the episode to double check.
Fair enough.
Okay. I was not intending to, but I just happened to be on the page that has Spirit of Discovery on it, and I reread it, and yes, it does say. So the other options explicitly call out that they are before the roll, after the roll, and immediate. And Spirit of Discovery doesn't. say when you're allowed to spend it, the determination to do it, it just says that when you do spend it, you add 3 to the momentum pull immediately. So I'll take that as you can spend it without a roll, because the other two explicitly call out that they are related to rolls.
Yeah. Which makes sense because they're
Yeah,
tied
how
to
did-
affecting the roll, yeah.
Try to look at what I was actually doing.
Enough derailing. Let's get back on the rails.
I'm helping.
Guile and Cunning, she will spend a threat rather than add a threat because she's an adversary. Difficulty goes up by 1. Uh, 3 spent on I must report Starfleet's secrets, and another 1 for an extra die. Unless there's a talent here that would be super helpful.
Better than getting 2 free hits, not generally. I think she already has the ones that helps her anyway. Like Guile and Cunning's really good. Oh, something like it's like one that humans have. It's like indefatigable or whatever, where they're like it's hard to scare them.
It couldn't be a species. It would have to be a because she's not eligible for any of those. It would have to be a command talent. I think because this is like this is going to be a presence command, presence security role. I'd diffuse the tension because you're threatening violence. But that only gets a free d20.
Out of all fairness. Dauntless, page 149.
Is that the one that's spend and succeed?
When another character attempts to intimidate or threaten you, you may spend 2 stress to ignore the attempt. I thought I just gave her a reroll. I was like, that's why I was looking it up. Because that's what it used to do.
I accept this. She will use her determination to take Dauntless for this scene. And she does still have stress available.
Well, threat available.
Well, I'm going to take all the threat back. I was going to spend 1 threat for an extra dice, so taking that back, and the one off the table is enough if I'm still paying for her stress like we have been doing. So she looks at you, and you and her both know that you're not going to do it. Now you may actually do it. That's a whole different thing. But I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that you don't know that you're going to do it. She is steely-eyed. She doesn't believe you'll do it.
So, Doctor, out of all fairness, well, you may want to roll this, GM, but she's about to get shot, and I'm about to vaporize her. So I don't know if anything's going to stop that right now.
No,
sir.
I point out if the doctor reports you executing a prisoner, that's it for Artana.
It is.
Okay. Yeah. I hate to, I want that to be clear so no one feels like you were cheated or anything.
Oh no, I knew this was the path when I ran into her again. It's like, oh no.
Okay.
Artana.
Draws phaser. Charge.
If I may.
Aim.
I think
set for kill.
I will have Carol probably step in. I don't have any threat, so I'm not going to be able to do something, but they are an unactivated NPC. So I will. because she's a security officer. She has a responsibility here.
I might suggest like a presence command to make me stop, because you do outrank me, but Aratana is of a certain mind. And this is a very Narhal way to solve the problem, and he sees her as a continuing threat that he needs to eliminate.
First, give me an opposed fitness security as Coral tries to shove you.
That's not a bad show.
She's not trying to like. This is not active like a martial arts move. That's why it's not daring. She's just physically trying to push. So I actually won't give her the focus in martial arts. And she'd be. Actually, I feel like she'd be spending momentum and you'd be spending threat. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna have her just roll 2 dice to avoid answering that question.
Well,
wait, you're the defender.
Yeah, she gets to see what I do.
Okay.
Hand-to-hand combat, because I am trying to keep control of my weapon, or hand phasers, either way.
Hand-to-hand combat turns this into an opposed daring security, because then you're not just like shoving back. You're like using your arm, like you're actually using martial arts moves to like push her out of the way and keep control of yourself.
I'm willing to take that.
Okay.
It's
actually worse for her if you make this well, she gets a focus, but her daring is worse than her fitness if she actually has to use combat techniques.
And I'm going to make it into, with applied force, it turns into fitness security for me.
Oh,
that's why I don't mind.
But I'll give you a free hit. She is human. And is she? She's not human.
Denobulan.
She's Denobulan.
Oh, okay. Should probably give you 2 free hits, but we give you 1 free hit for being Vulcan.
Sure. Yeah, no, I'll roll flat.
I'm gonna keep my roll then. So that's 2 momentum gained. 2. I'm gonna say 2 threat gained.
Yeah, that's fair. I've become an issue.
So Carol will say, Ensign, you can't, and she'll try to grab at you, but you push her back and she falls down.
Yeah, because I don't try to damage her, I just shove her away.
Yeah.
Ensign.
She had her warning. She doesn't get a second.
This is a direct order. Do not. We are not judge, jury, and executioner.
Presence command opposed, because I think that's what you wanted.
Yep. And
I'm assuming both of you want to succeed here.
Yeah.
Yep.
This may be the first
PvP roll.
Yeah.
Hang on. Composure focus.
Definitely.
Yes.
You do get to see what I do first because I'm defending. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Which not that's a great thing. I don't have a focus. There's no way. My reputation doesn't matter here because I'm throwing it to the trees. Stoic and danger isn't an issue. You're not attacking me. The only thing I'll say, GM, is maybe incorruptible because he's willing to turn himself in once he does this. He knows what he's doing is a crime. He's like, no, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to surrender immediately. Like, he's that dedicated to what he's going to do. That might hurt me as well, because I am violating the law. So, I'm have 2 minutes myself.
I would actually say that's a point in Tuir's favor, because you are violating the law, and there's part of you that knows
it's wrong.
That knows it's wrong, but you're willing to let that go in the moment. But maybe that Tuir can help you hold on to that.
I'll spend a threat, I suppose, to buy an extra die. Unless you don't want me to. This is your threat. I don't think I can spend it without you.
No, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Bang.
Okay.
Stoic. I'll allow Stoic in danger.
Oh no.
Because
yeah.
Because you're not moved by dangerous situation.
I suppose.
you
Yeah.
know that you can handle everything here physically if you need to. Like the doctor can't stop you. You might be willing to hear him out, but he can't physically stop you, and
Yeah.
you know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, I would like to point out, Soloris walked away from this conversation because she wants to speak with the workers leader, and she's no idea that you two are having the most insane, like critical argument of your entire careers because she's wandered across the other side of the cave.
God damn it.
that may
Hang
have been
on.
intentional
So
on my part.
that's only accounted to
Mhm.
1 free hit so far for Artana.
Can I throw down renowned Starfleet officer on
You
my end?
you can for I think uh
Yeah, that's right.
3. No, two hits. 2 free
Okay,
hits.
I'll take that.
Because renowned Starfleet officer is 2 above normal. Like, actually, I would.
Is renowned the top? Is 5 is max?
It is. That's why I'm at. Sorry, I think it's actually 3 because Starfleet officer we would give you a hit for, and then we've taken this to intensity 2 and 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's 3 free hits, which puts the number of free hits in Tweer's favor by 2.
Okay, and then I will spend to my value either don't fly too close to the sun or the canary in the coal mine. With canary in the coal mine,
I would be
wrong, and
more.
I am saying it.
I would take that one. I'd also take the third one because whatever Artana might say, you can see what he's about to do.
Hmm.
So his words may attempt to like deceive you, but
Yeah.
you can see it. So
Yeah.
I would take Canary in the Coal Mine though.
Yeah. In which case I will just roll a single die because that's 5 hits now. Oh,
But Stoic Endanger is 2, but Incorruptible
That gives him a free
is
hit,
gonna.
right?
So Stoic Endanger gets you 2 hits.
Right.
Incorruptible gets him 1 hit.
Right.
So you're up by 2. He's up by 1. And then he has Renowned Starfleet Officer counting for 3. So now he's up by 4.
Mm-hmm.
And you're up by 2. So in effect, he's up by 2.
Okay, as long as the math checks out.
Yeah, that works.
So
We can't. That's fine. We can keep them separate. So you have 2 hits and he has 4 additional ones. So so you're up to 5. Yes. So Doctor, you would roll.
okay, so spending so I'm going to spend my value to buy a die that rolls a nat 1, and then I'm going to, then I am
6.
Huh?
You're up by 6.
Yeah, then
meaning you just don't roll any complications.
Yeah, I am going to spend a die to a momentum to buy 1 more die. So I roll 2 dice.
Okay.
Also generate because you're up right now.
So that generates 2 momentum.
That was a nat 1.
Even if I spent to reroll that 0, it wouldn't work because I'd have to hit a 1 on a d20. So no, I'm not gonna spend my determination reroll. I can't get out. Yeah.
And I feel like the opposing role was offered to stop you, so I feel compelled to say that Artan's not willing to do this anymore.
Yeah. It gets pointed, it's charged and everything, and then I just kind of flick it off to stun, and then I turn it back down, and I holster it. I just look over at you. I believe she's in your medical custody, Doctor.
Indeed. And I do believe I know what the Klingons are planning here.
At least someone's willing to answer my questions.
She will mutter real quick, maybe getting herself killed, but maybe not. She will mutter, "That's one time I gave you the chance to speak and didn't kill you, and one time you gave it to me. I think next time we meet, there will be no words, for we are even."
Oh,
You'll know where to find me, Commander. I won't be ducking you or hiding in shadows.
That is a failure that Starfleet continues to accept.
I don't need Starfleet to shoot you down. It's only this uniform that's saving your neck. So, I wouldn't push it. This doctor might get forgetful and walk off. But I shrug at you,
Okay.
doctor, like, I know you're not going to. I'm just saying it. Sort of look.
he ruffles.
And I think Aratana walks off, and Corellis looks like, "Oh God, oh no!" Almost the worst thing that could possibly happen happened. And we go over to Solaris.
Yeah. Sorry, what's the workers leader's name again? Damar? Danara?
She is so deep into being a parole that you can't even remember her name. Hasna.
Jeez.
Athna. Look, the proletarian movement is not defined by any one individual, but a mass movement of many. We reject personal
Okay.
names.
Um,
He's going to walk over and
She's
say,
about to exercise her portion of the dictatorship of the proletariat on you.
I know. Yeah, she's going to walk over and say, an agent of the Klingon Foreign Intelligence Service, who I have good reason to know has committed crimes against the Federation, has just attempted to kill me after separating me from my group. If there is ever going to be a sign that the Klingons are interested in violating the treaty here, I have received it, and as such, I will do my best to advocate for your cause moving forward. I cannot promise membership in the Federation. However, I will attempt to aid you in my attempt to remove the Klingons from the system. However, that can only come if at the same time we are able to get the Telesite off world and save the Kates, for billions are at risk of imminent death if that does not happen.
She says, "Well, the mines are here, but you need the refinery, which is Site-II. And you need the reactor and the pressure shield, so you need Site-III and 8.
I imagine the process would be quite hard to do all of that in the midst of a firefight in which most of the workers of said plants are engaged in combat against Klingon forces.
She says, "If you promise me Starfleet will help us, we can group up, focus on those areas."
She is going to say, in the words of my Earth friends, let us shake on it. And she extends a hand.
She'll extend her hands and she says, "We all do it, even those that aren't from Earth."
Excuse me. My Earth originating friends, those of human nature.
Just, I guess. Never seen it.
Except those
Never
Rigelians. They don't shake
The
hands with
simple phrase would
nobody.
have been human friends.
I wasn't thinking about that, okay?
And
They
I'm
like
the bad
things
guy
that-
here. I see how it is.
Oh my god. They definitely refer Spock definitely calls humans like people of Earth. I don't want to hear this stuff.
Do you really want to take Spock as your exemplar? You sure about
I
that?
mean, like 95% of humans live on Earth or whatever, okay?
95.
Wow.
None of the Rigelians or the people on Moon or Mars.
Here we go.
The First
Would
Nations
you-
planet for some random reason TNG.
This is like when people
'Cause
say
it-
the
'cause-
six inhabited continents, and you're like, "But what about the researchers on Antarctica?" I'm sorry, but
It's okay. You're an Earth centrist. We get it. It's okay.
oh my god, no, there are exceptions for every. She was speaking metaphorically. I thought it was going to be a cute moment. Ugh.
With a cute around here.
Don't worry, it was. It was just also a problematic moment.
I'm so canceled. I mean, Dolores is canceled, but not for this.
Yeah, and I'm the one to get court-martialed. Fair.
Okay, extended task time.
Yeah, I will. We'll move the scene forward, and I will push these ahead.
I already yanked our momentum.
Well, the good news is Griffin is now up on the ship.
Yeah, I assume we're going back to that.
Remember, take down one ship at a time, not all of them. I have no idea what you're going to do up there.
Ramming speed?
I was impressed when you fought one to a standstill. Never mind a whole fleet.
So the Klingons have successfully taken control of most of the planet
Mm-hmm.
because it's been ceded to them. They seem pretty happy with that and think they'll wrap up the other areas. No progress has been made yet on y'all controlling it yet because Klingon incursion is still up there.
Mm-hmm.
But in Verney, as you're on the bridge, you get a hail.
I love it.
Vorov says, Lieutenant, hail incoming. Verified 10th Fleet secure channel.
Ah. I apologize, Joe. I need to take this.
no,
and hang up.
Oh yeah, you've been
She was still
keeping her
talking
at
at last
bay.
thing.
And as of yet, she hasn't decided to pull the trigger. At this time, I believe also Griffin is in and sits down, as does Revere, who probably says it wasn't the doctor.
I can see that. He is not blonde or human.
The doc sent me back up again. Keeps happening.
Well, there's something defective with you.
There's something in the actress's contract that says she has to be on the bridge a certain amount of hours, so she stops being on the show. It's a very specific demand too. They have to keep thinking of ways to get her there.
The bridge set is the most air conditioned, and she was sick of filming on location.
She had to sit down a bunch because the actress was pregnant for a season.
Yes, exactly.
Oops.
Oops. I mean, it can be oops if you want, no judge, but you know, oops.
It just came to my mind. But you're like wearing like the medical doctor like overcoat for no explicit reason for a couple scenes. It's like it's the best we could do.
Just call it the pilot's jacket,
Okay.
the bomber jacket.
On screen, you see Vice Admiral Sean, and standing behind him on the bridge is Fleet Captain Devon. And he says, I did not expect to find you in the chair, Lieutenant, but please report. We have detected your signal.
At this current time, Admiral, there appears to be a small Klingon flotilla or fleet in the system. The Joe Detour claims that we simply do not understand their methods of transportation and therefore they were able to get here without any violations to the treaty, which is a matter currently in dispute.
He
They
says
also
unlikely.
claim. Yeah, he's got the look that says this is unlikely. That's why he said this is in dispute. The more pressing matter is that she is trying to claim control of the system for the Klingon Empire. She's doing this through a document which we can send to you, although the document itself specifies that they are here to act as enforcers and essentially police or
Well,
a
I'd love to
hired
take your
military.
I'd love to take your word on it, Lieutenant, but I'm going to need you to transmit that.
Of course. And he'll nod across to whoever's doing that.
Um,
At current time, I've been doing my best to delay verbally, although I am uncertain as to what is occurring with the captain. She is beneath the planet's surface, and I cannot communicate with her.
I can update
Nope.
slightly on that.
Please do. If the Admiralty, of course, is fine with that.
let's hear it.
So kind of swivel around in the chair. Admiral, Captain, last I left, the doctor was just rescued by Ensign Aratana, the security team, and the captain. The captain, just for clarity, did the burning through of the door happen before or after I left? Or not the door, the rubble?
That was
After.
after.
Cool. The captain was trapped by a rock slide, although last she stated she was safe in finding another way around. There is an ongoing workers' revolt that seems to be actively suppressed by both the company in power and these Klingon mercenaries.
He says with a very interesting look, did they ask for assistance?
They were in process of doing so, yes.
I need you to be clear on this.
Yes, sir. They directly asked for assistance.
He said, damn, the Admiralty's been waiting on that for 15 years now. Sorry, it's a little above your pay grade to be read into something like this.
Everything goes on around here is.
That's it. No apologies needed.
He says, Lieutenant, this document isn't worth the pad it's on. They can act as security forces, but they have no claim to the system and can't force you to do anything. Have they taken hostile action?
Against the ship, so far, no. They have been posturing. On the ground, and he'll make an inclination to Griffin again.
The doctor reported that there were 4 disguised Klingons operating or disguised as the miners who took direct action against both the away team and the colonists.
It's too bad. I'd like to hear from the doctor if he'd bet his career on that.
He seemed certain.
This is one of those times where you need an officer who's willing to put it all on the line to make to be able to act on it.
Well, I tried, but a doctor stopped me.
If I may, Admiral, I don't think the doctor would have sent me back up only to help the ship. There is the possibility he wished for me to refer this information as well.
I said it may be possible to.
Well, also you saw the dead bodies, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Griffin's
Those
not
aren't
a doctor.
Starfleet,
Her only knowledge that they were Klingons comes from you telling her.
It's hearsay because he doesn't. It's not coming directly from the doctor.
Exactly.
If I had the Andromeda launch a probe for the purposes of boosting our communications, and given our ordnance or our carrying devices for ordnance are quite small, I believe it might be within the realm of possibility for Griffin to fly such a device into the tunnels a certain distance and perhaps get close enough to establish communications with the away team. But it would be a potentially easy to misconstrue move.
Manually guided
Probe.
communications buoy.
He says, I'm not sure about that, Lieutenant.
It was an option.
Probe's about
Do you feel like
3
you're
meters
in
tall.
any danger of
I
being
can get that
attacked?
through hallways.
I, at this time, am uncertain. Leaning towards yes, due to the specific maneuverings of the Klingons.
All right. Well, then we're going to have to play this by ear. I'm going to ask you something, Lieutenant, but I have to have your full acceptance. This can't be, you can't say yes because I've asked you. You have to be willing to do it.
Go ahead, Admiral.
I want you to effect an arrest of the Klingon flagship. But I want you to wait for another 2.5 hours.
Oh. I see his plan.
And I want you to transmit a standard Starfleet all clear signal when you've done it. And if they've accepted, a second all clear signal. If they've rejected it, a warning signal. Standard Starfleet warning signal. Is that clear?
The instructions are clear, sir.
Now, I need to know if you can carry that out, because you are not a commanding officer, so you may need to relinquish to an officer who's willing. I cannot compel you in this case.
He's XO of the boat. He counts, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's
well,
he's command.
but I don't think so. None of the characters who've served under the admiral personally are here to give insight. So I can't really.
Yeah.
If Soloris were here or Revere were here, I would explain a little bit more. But there's a reason he's saying it this way.
Okay.
It's probably because Annie didn't fight in the war.
No, it's not that.
I think he's just asking, do you have the guts to do this? If not, I will send someone else to do so.
Yeah.
Not that. He'll ask Revere to take command of the ship.
Yeah. And he's just simply going to look at, Griffin, the lieutenant, basically the crew to the left, and he would look to Revere as well, but Revere's here just basically a gauge on their visible reaction to the concept.
Griffin can say her own thing, but for everybody else, they're unconventional, and this is an unconventional plan. They're down for it.
And they're seasoned, so they're not even all that scared.
Yeah.
Griffin grins at this.
This damn boat.
Jesus Christ. I am willing and capable of carrying out the orders, Captain, or Admiral. Sorry, wrong one. Admiral.
He says, "That's what I want to hear, Lieutenant." He says, "That's the stuff great captains are made out of." He kind of turns over his shoulder and says, "Captain Devana, I need a interception pattern, full fleet strength, and signal to the fleet, maximum possible warp factor." And then he turns back to you and says, 2.5 hours, Lieutenant, and closes the communication.
Well,
Yippee.
now to find a way to delay and stall for another 2.5 hours.
The fleet lieutenant says, I'm not sure how you're gonna pull it off, Lieutenant, but well, you have another incoming communication, but not from someone you want to speak to.
If it's the Joe, how do you feel like a formal invitation to come aboard and talk about this in person would go?
Terribly. She's going to stab you.
Eh.
He's never met her. Griffin has. He says, I'm not sure.
Great. On screen, please.
She appears on screen and says, Lieutenant, your hour is done. Surrender your vessel.
I'm afraid, Joe, that is not something I can do at this time. However, I'm not going to blanket say no and run the unpleasantness that follows. I am willing to discuss with you and make sure that we've fully understood what is going on and can allow me to effectively convey everything to Starfleet Command. The more efficiently I can do that, the less questions they'll end up asking you and any future governor that might end up in place here.
She looks annoyed, turns over her shoulder, and says, Beck, the Von Terror, forward. And she says, that is all the reply I require, Lieutenant. And cuts the communication.
Oh, lovely.
And next week.
He's going. It just
Don't worry,
keeps
Griffin.
going.
We can play chicken for 2.5 hours.
Can we?
Yes. Don't you doubt my confidence.
Inverni needs to hold off the approaching warship long enough for the fleet to arrive.
I
We
do
could
like
do
that.
that.
I do like that. This is kind of a good thing that the very end of this season is Inverni's final moment to grow into being a commanding officer. Because this is easily like the most Inverni's ever got to do as the captain of the ship, which is cool.
Yeah. So, for everyone out there
Die.
watching, thank you very much for watching. For those of you playing, thank you, and running, thank you very much for doing so. And yeah, I think I'll still be Artana next time, but I'll have to think of what happens in the future. But hope to see you all in another time, another place. Bye. It's just a little murder. I don't know what's the problem.
Yeah,
I mean,
as a treat or snack.
I mean, it's only attempted, so it's not that bad.
it's
I mean, even
totally.
attempted murder would have been if you pulled the trigger and missed. It's only, as far as the Federation Court of Law is concerned, all you did was threaten to execute a prisoner, which is bad, pretty bad. That will get you a ding or two, but
It's pretty
Threatened in a
yikesy.
very convincing manner.
it's not getting drummed out of service bad, especially given the circumstances of needing to get information out.